Hey, it is Zennial Gamer back from a long break, from a move, and from a lack of green screen and good lighting. Guys, bear with me on the picture quality. My next couple of videos are going to be like this. I do have a new green screen ordered. As many of you know, I just moved into a new house. But we're going to do our best to get some videos out until we have the green screen. So, with that said, today's video, we're going to be doing this Predator, but we're going to be talking more about general overall Predator strategies and how you build a team for this and for any other Predator. Now, the first thing I want to recommend to you guys, if you're trying to figure out how to do your Predator team, is simply to come onto this screen right here and click this rank button, and this is going to show you what a lot of the people have used in order to beat Predator. Now, these top few ranks, a lot of times these are going to be players who are either runed up specifically for Predator, have a team built in advance, or like you see right here, we have a couple of Lucifers, things like that. So what I actually recommend is just scroll down, like spam scroll down a little ways, and then start to look for teams that are ones that you can build. For example, right here, we've got a Vertihile, Fran, Lucian, Crow, and Bella. Completely free-to-play team, happens to be from a Legend player. Now, another thing to know, I mentioned this, from a Legend player, you do not need Legend runes to be Predator, guys. You do not need Guardian runes to be Predator. You do not need, honestly, even C1 runes to be Predator. What you do need to do is understand how Predator works. Now, if you look on this screen, my lack of a green screen, unfortunately, is covering some of it, but at the very bottom of the screen here, it says the monster's basic stats will be increased in the Dimensional Predator Dungeon. Specifically, your base stats are multiplied by 10, and you have a minimum of, I believe it's 150 crit damage. So what that means is that if you have a monster like, let's say, my Amarna right here, he's actually going to have 98,850 base HP, and then he's going to get his additional attack and defense and speed. But the thing is, the plus 14,000 HP is all he gets. So he's going to have 98,000 plus 14,000, not plus 140,000, which means that the vast majority of his stats are coming from his base stats. Now, do runes help a little bit? Sure. I mean, obviously an extra 14,000 HP is better than an extra 0 HP, but it's a much, much smaller percentage. What does matter, what matters a lot, is going to be things like crit rate and accuracy, because those are the things that are not boosted. Now, the other thing that matters a little bit is going to be speed tuning. Speed tuning can be tricky if you're playing monsters with a big gap in their base speed. So, for example, the Amarna right here, multiply that speed by 10, he's got 1,010 speed. We multiply the Vertihile's got 990. So if I want my Vertihile to act before Amarna, my Vertihile needs to be 20 speed faster. Actually 23 speed faster because of speed towers and all that. Which is achievable, you know, like an extra 23 speed, that's possible if I want to speed tune the Vertihile. However, if I want my Crow to act in front, now my Crow has got 1,080 speed when we multiply that base speed by 10. It's a whole lot different. Now my Vertihile has to be like 92 speed faster than Crow to get him in front. That's almost not possible. So in terms of speed tuning, the thing that's really going to matter is that you put your healer or your cleanser acting first when possible. If you're playing a monster like Crow or like Rauk, you're probably not going to want to worry. You're probably not going to want to worry about like trying to speed tune with that massive speed gap. Just focus on maybe speed tuning the ones that matter. But the really, really, really important thing here, guys, is you need to have enough accuracy on your monsters, and you need to have enough crit rate on your monsters, because those are the two stats that don't scale. Now, on top of that, if you can put a ton of crit damage on your monster, that's awesome. If you can put it in violent runes, that's awesome. But again, the game's going to scale you up to 150 crit damage, so if you can't get the huge crit damage build, don't sweat it. Your focus here should be, first and foremost, getting to 100 crit rate. Secondarily, getting your accuracy up. I've never seen the data mine numbers, so I can't tell you an exact number, but I would say shoot for 40 to 50 accuracy for consistency. So we're under 20 stars. We're largely free to play. I know Kaki's not technically a free to play monster, but we just came off of a choose your own 4-star. Most of you guys probably have him. If you don't, Crow will work just fine in his place. So for this first wave, there's really not a whole lot that we need to worry about here. We're actually just going to go ahead and cleave the wave out. We don't really have to worry too much about our cooldown, so we'll go ahead and AoE with the cocky. And we'll go ahead and just cleanse that off for the hell of it. Let's see if we can actually kill this Escher right here. And we can kill this Escher, maybe, maybe not. And then we should be able to clear most of the wave here with our... Ooh. Could not clear the wave with Lucian. Interesting. Alright, so let's work on this Mi Ying, because we know he's going to do big damage. Now, when we get to the mid-boss, understanding the mechanics of the mid-boss is going to help you a lot for passing this stage. So, guys, let's first take a look at this right side mid-boss right here. Now, we're going to see he's got the Touch of Weakening skill, attacks 3 enemies randomly to inflict damage and decrease the defense for 2 turns. This is the one that you really have to worry most about. He's also got a stun skill. I didn't actually mean to attack him there, but that's okay. He's also got a stun skill, but the stun skill is usually not a big deal. It's the defense break that you've got to worry about, so we want to make sure that we're using our immunity to protect ourselves from that defense break. Now, if we look at this one, removes all harmful effects granted on himself and creates a shield. This one does kind of matter, so a lot of people might bring like a Bella or a monster that can strip the shield. The thing is, while this boss is shielded, he'll counterattack you if you hit him and don't break his shield. For me, what I usually do is just control that with immunity, and I use my weaker monsters to break the shield if he shields himself, so that way I don't have to bring in a stripper. So for example, I would use my Fran S1, or maybe even my Vertihile S1, if the boss has enough HP, but I would only hit him when I have immunity up, so that his counterattacks are not that big of a deal to me. Now we look at this right here. He attacks together with Hollow, which is the other mid-boss. Attacks all enemies instantly if Hollow gets a turn while using Power of Bond. The attack inflicts damage that ignores all damage reduction effects. That's not ignores defense, but it's ignores things like defense buff. And then this is the stun skill that we were talking about. This one right here says that you can't manipulate, you can't push the boss back, basically. And then you also can't give him glancing. So he's he can't have glancing, and you can't push back his attack bar. This one right here, and this is part of the nerf they just did. So if you accidentally kill one without killing them together, then they're going to revive each other. But now they only revive each other with 50% health instead of max health. I actually jumped over this Indomitable Soul right here. This is a passive that says the defense increases as the HP gets lower. The other boss right here, he's got the opposite of this. The attack power increases as the HP gets lower. So you typically want to attack the right side boss first, and you want to get him down to just like a tiny bit of HP, to the point where your Lucian or your Cocky on this team is going to be able to kill him with an AoE. But you work on the right side boss first, because the left side boss is the one that will hit you harder as his HP gets lower. Now the left side boss here, it's the same thing. He's got an AoE attack with attack power decrease. He's the one that applies the continuous damage with no turn limit. And then he also has the attack together, same thing, ignores damage reduction effects. And then same thing, you cannot manipulate his attack bar or give him glancing. And once again, I did not actually mean to attack him there, but that's okay. Okay, now one other little tip, I think maybe the last tip for this stage. If you're only running one defense breaker, depending on the month and the predator, you might not have a second monster that has skill 1 defense break. You want to go with the Ralk skill 1 and not the team up. It's natural, you automatically think, oh, I should use skill 2, but the boss is not defense broken yet. So in this case, I do have a second skill 1 defense breaker in the Cocky, but the Cocky does not have a 100% activation rate on his defense break, and neither does Crow. So we're going to go ahead and just try and get the defense break down. And now that was a nice proc. We can go ahead and team up. We're trying to see if we could take the Vertihile with us to turn cycle a little bit. But from here, we're actually just going to start working on this boss, the right side boss. Again, we want to get his damage down low. I feel the difference. I know they said that they actually made these bosses a little bit weaker, a little bit easier, and I definitely feel the difference there. It normally does not go down that quickly. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of afraid to hit him with my Vertihile. I think my Verd maybe will reset him. But let's see what happens. Yeah, the Verd actually did kill him. Now this is where we see that 50% thing coming into effect. So that was kind of nice, actually. I gotta say, it was kind of nice. The fact that the boss is weaker, he's gonna go down very easily. Overall, I think we can leave him here now. We just learned that much. We'll go ahead and just, I guess, skill 1 here so the Verd can heal himself a little bit. See if we can land a defense break. Overall, I am totally feeling the difference. I got to admit, guys, like this is way faster, way easier than in the past. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure my Lucian can clear from here, and he can. So now on this wave, once again, the waves, you really don't have to worry about that much. Just use your brain. Identify which enemy over there is the threat. So in this case, that Rahul is going to be the threat because he's got the strip. So we're going to take the Rahul out, and now we're just going to kill based off attribute. So in this case, I went for the Naomi because, you know, Ralph being fire, we went for wind. But mostly we're just going to turn cycle around them with the Vertihile. They're not going to take more than one turn. And then this brings us now to the final boss. Now, this is the tricky fight, guys. This is the tricky fight. And speaking of tricky things like the tricky fight, guys, we are going to talk about the new packs and how they are a little bit tricky. First off, guys, I got to tell you, today's video is sponsored. Huge shout out to Huawei for sponsoring today's video. You guys who have been watching my channel, you know that we've been actually partnered with Huawei since the start of June. I'm excited to tell you guys that the campaign is still going on. Overall, I think these are probably some of the best packs Com2uS has ever released. Outside of an ancient Transcendent Scroll, I don't think you're ever going to get better value out of any pack than you will get out of these. With that said, these packs are a little bit tricky, hence our segue. So if you look at each of these packs, you'll see that when you click on the pack, you can pick 2 items that you want. However, what it doesn't tell you is that after you buy the first pack, and let's say we take the Devils and the Reaps on the first pack, we cannot get Devils and Reaps on the second pack. So if you are going to be whaling out and buying all of the packs, first of all, if you're going to be whaling out and buying all of the packs, make sure you take advantage of the promo code right over here on the screen, where you can save up to 24% through everyday coupons, and then you get an additional 10% cash back on your next purchase after that, meaning you can save over 30% on every single purchase you make through the app gallery on Summoner's War. So again, make sure you check out zennialgaming.com/AG coupon, app gallery coupon. If nothing else, you're just supporting the channel. You're helping me out, guys, helping to sponsor and promote this content that we keep trying to put out, the best content that we can. But overall, guys, when you see up here, it says 8 times perks, 7 times perks, 4 times perks. Definitely legit some of the best packs Com2uS has brought out. So if you decide to buy any of these packs, hit it up on the Huawei app gallery. Again, huge shout out to Huawei for sponsoring this video, for giving us the ability to keep producing content. Boss. Now, this is the tricky fight, guys. This is the tricky fight. So if we take a look at this skill right here, this is always the one that counts up to 15. It looks like this month what we see, Grudge Eruption. The boss is going to inflict damage that increases per continuous damage effect on your own monsters. So generally speaking, when you attack this boss, you want to watch this counter up here. So we're going to start off. We're going to try and get a defense break. We did not get it, but we see that Cocky hit twice, and that brought this number up to 2. So we want to watch if, as soon as this number hits 15, this is the total times, and this is not the turns we've taken, this is the total number of hits we've landed on the boss. As soon as this number hits 15, the boss is going to attack us. We want to make sure that when we hit the boss for the 15th time, we have immunity up. And especially this month, because we see it increases damage based on continuous damage, we got to make sure that the monster that lands that 15th hit does not have continuous damage on it. Now, if we take a look at the boss's other skills, first of all, we're going to see same thing. He can't have attack bar reduction. He can't have glancing. And then in addition to that, the skill up, the team up. So like I said, the Rauk team up damage is reduced, and also HP scaling damage is reduced. That's all on this passive right here. We look at this other passive. This is basically the waves. I call them the waves. So this Soul Clone passive basically says after the first time we kill the boss, he's going to take 2 of our monsters. It's usually the one that's taken the most damage and the one that's done the most damage. And then we have to go kill those 2 monsters within 20 turns. If we don't kill those 2 monsters in 20 turns, the boss's attack power goes up the next wave and he's harder to kill. Now, we take a look at his skills right here. Touch of Exploitation. Com2uS. Stepping up the bar. I thought nothing could actually beat Cocky and Kinky, but Touch of Exploitation. Wow, Com2uS. Naughty, naughty. Alright, so Touch of Exploitation inflicts damage to the enemy that ignores damage reduction effects and deals 1 beneficial effect granted on the target. So one reason that you may not always want to use Fran is because the boss can steal effects, and so you have to be careful not to use Fran's AoE at the wrong time. Now it's actually, for me, a lot of times I find once I get the boss down below half health and I have a defense break up on him, I don't really care if he steals immunity because I've already got the defense break and I'm going to kill him before it wears off. But right now I have not landed that defense break. I don't want to risk him stealing anything from me, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to cleanse the continuous damage off my Vertihile to start. We'll go ahead and try again. We got the defense break up, so now I want to try and turn cycle because the boss's attack bar is ahead of quite a few of my monsters. We're going to try and team up with the Verd. We did not, unfortunately, get the Verd team up, and we did, unfortunately, add a lot of hits right there. So we're at 7 right now. Again, at 15, the boss is going to hit me back, so I'm still okay to hit the boss a little bit right now. I usually will not worry about my early hits as long as I'm hitting him with damage dealers. Like, I wouldn't attack him with my Fran here, but I'll go ahead with the Verd. We're good because we've got the defense break up. Now with the Cocky, I'm going to use the skill 2 here. The skill 1 would actually give me some healing, which would be nice, but I am trying to conserve hits, so we're going to go ahead and skill 2 so we can get good damage, but only add 1 hit to the counter. Now we're going to go ahead with the Fran, and at this point, I do think we can get the boss down. So we're going to go ahead and put the immunity up right now. And we're going to take our skill 1 and just pray that Rauch does not go all John Cena on us. He does not, so that's perfect. I also want to save the amp for the mid wave. So we're going to go ahead and save the amp knowing that we have to clear that next wave in 20 turns. So we'll just skill 1 the boss. We've done good damage. And then we are going to get the 2 hits with the Vertihile right here. My Vertihile has immunity, does not have continuous damage. So this is the perfect monster to take the revenge hit from the boss because he's not going to do that much to me. You know, he did like 20% damage or something. Now we can go ahead and just wipe the boss out right here with our Cocky. Come to us, I love you. And we're going to go ahead and get these dots cleaned off right here. We are going to beat the Cocky up over here, and we'll go ahead and just amp into the double fire. It still worked though, we got the kill. Let's do an attack break right here. And you can see up here, we're at 14 hits. We got plenty of time now. So what I actually want to do is, if I can, I want to now slow down a little bit. So we're going to go skill 2 with the Cocky here because I don't want to defense break this route. I have 11 hits left to clear this wave, and what I want to do is get my Fran to put some immunity up. If we get really lucky, we get a proc right here. We don't. Oh, no, Rauch! Bad Rauch. Bad doggo. Bad doggo. Okay. So we still got 9 hits left. We'll go ahead and skill 1 right here. Let's see if we can put a debuff on the Rauch. We do. Slow is perfect. We're going to turn cycle up a little bit. Don't kill, don't kill. Okay, we're golden. We are golden. So we're at 4 turns left right there. We heal our Lucian up, and this is perfect. Fully set up immunity. The boss will not apply continuous damage to me. I managed to clear the wave in under 20 hits. I came in with attack buff. Now the boss is going to unfortunately get to steal some buffs from me because of this skill 1, the touch of exploitation. But in the meantime, we are still going to get our defense break up right here, and we might actually just be able to blitz through the... No, we can't blitz through the boss. Unfortunately, he got the Watcher's Eye up. So we didn't talk about this. For the second wave of the boss, he gets a new skill right here, Watcher's Eye, where he basically, you have to hit the boss 10 times to clear the eye. So this is the opposite, where before we were counting our hits and trying to get to 15 as quick as possible. Sorry, we were counting our hits and trying not to get to 15 except when things were timed out correctly. Now we're actually trying to get to 10 hits as quickly as possible to clear the Watcher's Eye, because while the eye is up, he takes 0 damage and he absorbs 20% HP from each of our units that attack him. So we'll go ahead in here, and fortunately we've got some multi-hitters. So now I have a choice here. I could try and heal with my Fran, but I'd rather clear the Watcher's Eye, so I'm going to take the 3 hits from the Fran S1 right here. And then we are going to check his attack bar right here. We don't necessarily need the team-up damage at the moment. So we'll go ahead and just see if we can John Cena a little bit. We cannot, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and hit right here. Watcher's Eye now is cleared. We're going to turn cycle with the Verd. We already have a defense break up, and now we have a new counter on our Grudge Eruption. We are at 13 hits, guys. 13 hits. So the only unit I have with immunity is Cocky, so I actually want to proc this right now. We're going to go ahead and proc it. We're going to take the hit with the Cocky. We're going to let him beat our Cocky. Come to us. Oh, your naming conventions are awesome. We get our immunity up right here, so we still have no continuous damage, and we're gold at this point. And we can actually just come straight in with our skill 1. And we're moving straight on to the next wave, guys. The boss is really not going to have an opportunity to do anything before we clear him out because we had the defense break applied. So now we're going to be going to our next wave. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to cycle the Fran back to get immunity up quickly enough. So instead, we're going to see if we can manage to kill super quick. And that means right here, I actually want to skill 1 the Fran, because I know I can wipe this Lucian out. I know the Lucian has no HP. So what I want to do is get the defense break on the Fran. This will pretty much wipe them both. Perfect, actually. I didn't honestly expect the Lucian to be able to clear the Fran. So we have immunity up on everything. Now, final stage of the Predator, guys. Final stage of the Predator. You see he just put this debuff on my Cocky. We got the number 2 right here. And if we take a look at the new skill right here, Curse of Rage passive. The curses the enemy inflicted the most damage on the boss for 2 turns. Cursed enemy will inflict double damage on the boss, but is guaranteed to die when the curse is defeated, immunity or not. So right now my Cocky has the curse. Unfortunately, Cocky's attack bar is ahead of Rauk, so I can't set the Cocky up for a defense break. More unfortunately, Cocky already has an attack buff, so I'm not going to get huge damage from the Cocky, but I will get enough damage easily to kill the boss from either the Verd or the Rauk once one of those two gets cursed. So we're going to come in here. We got the defense break, which is perfect. We're going to go ahead and just heal up our Rauk right now because the boss does hit really hard on this stage. And I think we're at 4 hits. I normally don't like to hit skill 1 with the Fran, but on this stage, every little bit of damage is nice. More importantly, I want to attack break the boss. So I will go ahead and skill 1. Of course, I don't attack break the boss, so that was nice. Now, we're going to see if we can John Cena. Rauk has not taken a single extra turn this entire match because I've called for that John Cena like 12 times. All right, we're going to go ahead and skill 1 the boss right here. You can see we're already at 9. We will do some nice damage from the Verd right here. And now here comes the big Cocky hit. Without the attack buff, it won't be that big. And do we want skill 1 or skill 2? I think we actually want skill 1. I think skill 1's probably going to do more damage. So, 191,000, not bad. All right, Vertihile now gets cursed, and we have the attack buff break. We have the defense break. We just got the attack buff up, so the Vertihile is actually going to finish the boss on his next turn. He's going to do crazy damage right here. So, boss hits harder on this stage. Didn't really... Oh, no! He got the Watcher's Eye! I am in trouble. All right, we got to cycle the hits. We have to do this because we just have to get through Watcher's Eye as quickly as possible, and we did. I don't know if you guys were watching the counter on the top. The first Vertihile hit was actually the 10th hit that cleared the Watcher's Eye. The second Vertihile hit killed the boss. So there you go, guys. That is basically how the Predator works. That's the full walkthrough. Now, obviously, there's some slight differences from month to month, Predator to Predator, based on the type of team that you can bring. But generally speaking, almost every Predator team is built around Fran, Vertihile, and Rauk, all very free-to-play units. And while I won't tell you that if you're brand new and you literally are unruined, you're going to beat it. I'm not going to say that, right? But what I will say is that it is possible to beat the Predator in early mid-game if you understand the mechanics behind it. And then worst case scenario, you make a couple of tweaks, you get that 100 crit rate, you boost up your accuracy, you adjust your speed tuning, you add will runes. That's a huge thing. And if you do those 4 things, then you should be able to beat Predator even with very mediocre runes. All right, guys, let's take a look at what the rune is for this month, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the video from there. All right, so we've got a Destroy rune with absolutely awesome, amazing stats. Max roll attack, max roll crit rate, almost max roll speed. Awesome stats, but it is a Destroy rune, not super exciting. Nice that it's crit damage. On this side, we got a vampire rune with garbage stats. This rune is terrible. It's a slot 2. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it has speed and crit rate, but it's only got 1 grindable. This rune is bad. We've got a slot 6 energy rune with nearly all max rolls, perfect stats. If this was a will rune, I would be really, really happy with it. But as an energy rune, we're not going to do it. We're not going to have any grinds for it either. Guard rune, slot 6, great stats. The fact that its defense fits really well with the guard rune. But once again, I mean, ultimately, you guys know we're just looking for will runes for the most part. And the will rune right here, slot 2 attack. We've got crit rate, crit damage, defense, and speed. This month's will rune is not great. I gotta say, it's not great. So the problem that I'm gonna run into is I actually think the best rune right here is this energy rune, the slot 6 energy rune with a max speed. However, I'm not gonna have the grinds for it because I don't farm Karzan. So I would only pick this rune if Karzan is the only dungeon that you can farm, because you really shouldn't be farming Karzan for the gems and grinds unless it's the only one you can do. It kind of comes down to the will and the destroy rune for me. These are going to be the 2 runes that make the most sense. The destroy rune could be very usable for a monster like Xing Zhe, possibly a destroy Kamoon. Destroy is not like the worst rune set out there. What it comes down to really is, do you want a will rune more? And this one's going to be a high risk will rune because it could roll disastrously. Or do you want a much safer pick on the destroy rune, but a rune that's going to have less usage for you? Probably less usage, probably almost no usage in RTA other than maybe on a crit damage Xing Zhe or something like that. So for myself, I'm probably going to take the will rune. I don't think it's the best rune. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably the second worst of all the runes. But if it rolls out speed, then it'll become the best rune for me, right? I've actually still never really gotten anything useful from this. Can that change right now? Can that change? No, it cannot. Definitely no, it cannot. All right. Ooh, all right. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take speed, and I'll take energy too. All right, guys. So that is it for today's Predator video. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Hey, it is Zenio. Oh, no, wait. This is the outro. My bad. Hey guys, if you want to see more content, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications. It's your support that makes me want to create continuing content. I thank you guys for the support, as always, and we'll see you in the next video.